John in Missouri. John, what is up?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, John?
Going all right?
Cool. What did you want to talk about today?
So I want to talk about faith in science, and more specifically, like softer sciences.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a very negative experience with a number of mental health professionals, and I find it crazy that someone can read a book and then based on reading that book have a better opinion on what my needs are than myself.
Well, okay, so before we keep going
I definitely want to hear specifics on this.
Yes, because if we're talking about people who train to work with mental health, like they do other things besides reading the books. Like they do actually, interact with people and like.
I think he might be referencing the Bible.
Maybe so. Yeah, let's.
But I agree with you. There's several books that people that are.
Let's not jump into it too quick, John. I'll definitely let you'll finish yourself out.
So I mean, just that any human being, like I was in a very unhappy situation. Like I was unsatisfied with my job, unsatisfied with my marriage, and the solution to that problem was medication based on his medical training. And because of his medical training, my opinion didn't matter anymore because I was so upset by my situation that my opinion of myself didn't matter anymore. And like he had 100% certainty that my opinions were invalid and that medication could fix my problems. Like just complete blind faith that he was more correct about me than I was. And that was a very disheartening situation.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm sorry.
That's definitely tough, man.
I'm sorry that happened to you. It's hard enough in this country to talk about mental illness without bringing up the stigmas and stuff. And like one of those conversations that we have is, well, like what is the necessary amount of medicine that we need to take when it comes to this? Like how necessary is this stuff? Like what, are we supposed to be taking this as much as we think? Is it actually helping us all positively? And there's a lot of debate about that, even still to this day, because of people's individual experiences with this stuff. And I
don't know the particulars of your situation, but I agree with Dan. There's definitely a lot of debate on these kind of topics. But and I'm not a mental health professional at all. But what I would ask is what would you have preferred out of the experience that you went through? What was the action that you were looking for?
Good question.
I mean, I was just looking for a divorce. And like I was trying to have a very civil conversation about it. And like the reaction to that was just like, oh, you're being abusive. You're just threatening me. And it's like, no, I'm trying to have a conversation with you about how I feel and what I'm thinking. And that ended up with like me being sent to this hospital. And it's just like, I basically have spent my entire life afraid of being sent to one of these places. And then it happened because it's just like, my mother specifically was like very devoutly Christian. It's just like, I felt like if she found out I was an atheist or like if I ever let her know that like I was like angry and upset with her for like sending me to this place, that like they'd medicate me. And it's like, I just don't like the way I'm being treated. I just feel like we have like this blind faith that these medicines definitely 100% work. And like, maybe they do, and maybe they help lots of people, and maybe I'm a fringe case. But like, if we apply like really, really honest skepticism to these studies, it's just like the company makes a drug, the company does a study, they have a financial incentive for the study to say that the drug is useful, and then it does, and then they profit. Like,
Well,
I feel like
here's what I'll say.
Go ahead.
Here's what I'll say. There is no such thing as a drug without some sort of side effect, whether it be big or small, right? I think.
I'm also not aware of a drug that has a 100% success rate.
Yeah, anything we take is
especially
going
in mental health.
Yeah, and there's never going to be a case where if you give a drug to the entire human population that it's going to work exactly the same with everybody. Are there drugs that work really well and work almost the same way with a lot of kinds of people? Sure. And again, like this is going into the debate that we're having right now in this country as far as like how much should we rely on medication as a solution as opposed to therapy, as opposed to exercise, as opposed to, all of these other things? Is it a combination of these things? What should we value more than the other? I'll certainly say that I don't think medication is the be all end all. And I'm sorry that maybe that was the impression that somebody gave you based on their expertise. Maybe they viewed you a bit coldly and didn't value your personal experiences with that, and for that I'm truly sorry that's what ended up happening with your situation. I'm glad that we have the options for second opinions in this country, and maybe that's what needs to happen with your situation. I don't know. I can't. This is really outside of my scope of field as far as what kind of medical advice I could give you, and I certainly wouldn't want to be the person to give you that. But I will say that at least when you're calling into this show, you'll definitely hear empathy from the both of us, because I don't think that there is one solution for these kinds of things. I think it's probably going to be a combination of things. I think it's probably going to be something that we're always going to have to keep researching. So
yeah, I definitely have agreement with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
I just feel like there's lots of doctors out there that are 100% sure that they have the answer.
Sure.
And like, once you're in that situation where you're under the care of one of those types of people, you're just completely helpless. And like, I probably could have benefited from like seeking out care like earlier, but knowing that people like the doctor I ended up with existed, like I have been terrified to ever seek any kind of help.
So now there's a fear of even reaching out at this point.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Like I've seen 5 different professionals and not a single one of them, like I feel like if any of them listened to me, I feel like any of them should have been like, yeah, you probably should get a divorce. Like, you're obviously very unhappy in this situation. And it's just like, it's just mind blowing. Like how it's just, the thing that helped me the most was just getting away and starting over.
Yeah. I like the perspective of a divorce is something to be celebrated because it's the end of an unhappy marriage or a marriage that wasn't working, It's an interesting perspective. Unfortunately, we live in a culture that doesn't really look too kindly on divorces, although that's kind of changing now because, I don't know, growing up, half of my friends' parents were divorced. It's much more normalized now. But I think it is a solution. I think divorce is a solution for a lot of problems.
There's a friend of mine that he told me that he was getting a divorce a little while ago, and I said, I'm sorry to hear that, man. He said, I'm not.
Yeah. Right. Of course, I've never been divorced. I've never been married. So, I am only limited in those experiences. But I hear similar things. It's like, oh, yeah, you get to move on with your life. You get to have that choice, that option. And that's healthy, I think. So.
Well, I just want to say really quickly, you're worth waiting to talk to. But, like, I'm very impressed at the queue now. The first time I called it, I just got in right away. Many months ago. So keep up the good work, Dan.
Thanks,
I appreciate what
Dan's
you're doing.
got a really awesome show going, man. So
I'm trying. Yeah. I start beef with people though, and that's the problem. I'm gonna get killed because of it. But anyway,
I really appreciate you calling in, John. Thank you.
Yes, John. Thanks. I mean, was. I'm really glad you felt comfortable sharing that with us, and I'm glad I could be at least some help with you. So. Good luck to you.
I do apologize if it's like really off topic. It's just.
Hey, you know what?
Sometimes,
dude, you need to talk about this kind of stuff, man. And if we can be a source for that, then like that's cool. I'm doing something good. So
honestly, if this call gets more people talking about this subject, fantastic.
Matt's saying he doesn't have beef with me. He's all smiles, so it's all good. I'm just joking, Matt. It's all good.
I mean, that's what old men say when they challenge young men to physical confrontations, isn't it, Dan?
It's to be fair, I think damn. I'm the one creating this narrative.
There's going to be a fight happening now. John, you're not helping, man.
Matt doesn't have access to the mic. I have complete control of the narrative being spun right now. So that's oh shit.
I mean,
he's coming in the door.
I can hear him right now. I don't know if it's that.
Look out.
I have access to everything.
I feel like versus Matt Dillahunty at the Bat Cruise would be a big draw, right?
We need to get out of here.
Yes.
This place isn't safe anymore. Yes. John, thanks again for calling. Yeah. Appreciate it, man. And I look forward to hearing from you again. Take care.
Goodbye.
Yeah, thanks for calling, John.
Again,
you okay over there?
He's stretching. He's getting ready. He's doing some taekwondo back there. He's doing flips. Oh my goodness. He just broke like 7 slabs of wood. I
didn't realize Matt knew capoeira.
Oh my gosh. That's 3 whole concrete? Man, amazing. He's doing all kinds of acrobatics. It's like Power Rangers out here right now. It's crazy. But yeah.
It's gonna go Super Sentai on you.
Super Sentai on me. No, but you know what? That was even though that was a bit, that was like totally not usually what we talk about here. I'm glad we had that conversation.
Absolutely, man.
That's fun. You know, like it's not fun. I'm sorry. What I mean by fun is it's
a good conversation.
It's a good conversation. It's a change of pace from what we talk about. And there is we do trust the experts in our country, the ones that we go see to for medical problems, to like make the right diagnosis with us. And like people make mistakes. You know, like, and that's something, and I can't make any particular judgments about his situation. I don't know his doctor, I don't know what he told him, but, you know, it does happen. Like, it's, you know, something to think about.
There's a thing that is kind of interesting about that with what he was saying with respect to kind of like the financial incentive in the drug industry. And like, there's also a lot of conspiracy talk about the medical industry with respect to that. Some of it's, I think, justified, some of it's not. But the fact that some of it is.
Yeah.
And that even if you take the position that none of it is, the fact.
When will it end? Oh my God! You can't hear this if you're listening to this, but we just switched to a camera shot of Matt pointing at the camera in the in the other room.
But what I was saying was important, damn it. But the fact that some of it is, as it creates a legitimate conversation with respect to like your financial incentives to put out a bad drug.
Yeah.
It's present in our society. It's a conversation that we need to have. I don't know exactly what the solution is, but I think that it's something that in our elections isn't talked about anywhere near enough.
Yeah. Oh, we need to have conversations about big pharma and like, you know, what's real and what's not about that kind of stuff. That'd be a fun episode to do.